25 chemical free opioid methadone clinic free substance free. So this I'm sharing. I have to. I gotta release it. This I'm sharing about my first time. I was 15 years old. He was 28, and being told that he gave me AIDS. And this is something I've lived with my entire life. Have I ever tested for HIV positive for, if I ever tested HIV positive or AIDS positive? Thank the heavens, no. But this is something that I've thought that I've had my entire life, and I just have really have been tested constantly. Even now with my husband, because of that. I mean, in the early 90s especially, and just, and then they say like, oh, it might not happen right away, but it can happen in 10 years time. And so after that 10 years especially, it was terrifying. So I'm not doing this to purposely hurt people, because there's things that happen after me being told I had AIDS. So let's begin. So there's, I'm in and out of the 90s troubled teen industry. I had a couple of boyfriends. I mean, yeah, we would do make-out sessions and stuff, but when it came to their private areas, I didn't know what none of that is. I had never even seen one before, so your first time seeing one, it's quite a shock, especially when it's like a horse. I'm not exaggerating. I'll never forget that. That was horrifying. Not literally, like, you know what I mean, especially when you're a 15-year-old child. That comes quite a shock. So, well, okay, I was sexually abused when I was younger. I don't count that. No, I should count that. But let's just talk about being deflowered by an outside source. So after having problems at home and school and just wanting to escape, no wonder why I wanted to run away constantly. I just kept wanting to run away from my issues. And then there was this thing with the Salisbury steak my mom used to make, and then something would always happen after Salisbury steak. So I would try to take off. So I was in a St. Clair Shores adult ed because told my mom I can't do the regular high school. I had transitioned from Lakeview to South Lake, and South Lake started getting better, but then some people from Lakeview started talking to people from South Lake. So just let someone be. Let a child be. Let a teen be. Leave them alone. Don't fuck with them, There's a lot of programming as far as learned behaviors for parents. A lot of mean kids learn those behaviors from parents that make fun of people. Oh, man. I'm not innocent. I've said things as an adult about people, but I feel really bad about. So, I'm 15. I'm in this adult ed. There's this guy named Steve from Harper Woods. He was 19. And now that I think about it, he's not really my type, but he was nice to me. So he reminds me back then of like a teddy bear. So he became my boyfriend. I was only 15. We were making out one night, and this isn't an exaggeration. You want to talk about hickeys? My mom was so mad, and then I had to go to church. We tried to cover it up. He put a hickey on this. It was right here. Ew, I still feel it. It's gross. It was literally that big. Yeah, my mom tried to cover it and everything. I thought my mom was going to die of shock from it, and I had to go to church. I had no choice but to go to church at that time. And, yeah. So, and then after that, he picked me up. Zimas first came out. You have to be 21 to drink here in Michigan, especially at that time in the 90s. I got super drunk. Oh my God. I had him take me over to my aunt and my uncle's house, and I was talking to them. I'll never forget that. I don't know if they knew that or they smelled alcohol on me. I am so sorry for that. As a stupid kid. So a little bit goes after that. Things at home started getting intense. And I was telling Steve about the things at home that were getting intense. And he's like, because he was working as a ballet at the time. And he's like, look, we're going to be together. And my mom actually liked him. We're going to be together, and look, I can get you out of there. So at this time, I had no street smart familiarity. I'll do another video about not only being book smart, but street smart. It's really hard to screw with somebody, especially knowledgeable wise. So I get dropped off at the adult bed. Steve shows up, and so we take off together. And he's like, so while I'm at work, I'm going to drop you off at my uncle's house. His uncle lived off of Chalmers Road in Detroit. His uncle's name was Roger. So he leaves me there at 15 years old with this grown man. I did not know any better. Should I have done any of this? Not running away from home? I take accountabilities for the things that I do, okay? Some things it's like I can't take accountability for. Traumas really fuck you up. Excuse my language. You have my permission to share this video. I do not have I have a child safety lock on my videos, but for parents or teens that are experiencing traumas and stuff and out of control behaviors, you are more than free to share this video, because these things happen. So he leaves me. He trusts leaving me there. I'm 15 years old. His uncle is 28 years old. And the guy was just really like creepy looking. And we're watching TV and stuff, and I look at a grown woman's body since a young age, and when you see that, and you look like a Barbie doll, well, even not then. If you're just particularly, if you're a younger girl, there's just every man I've known throughout my whole life always like teens, like 18 and stuff, and then it's like, I'll do a video about that, about older dudes. It's not just dudes, it's women too. So I'm sitting, he's sitting, we're in the back of this house, and I'm scared to death because I'm in Detroit. I didn't know what to do. It was a beautiful house. So I'm no longer scared of Detroit since used to go get shit down there. Never had an issue. So we're sitting in the house. In the back of the house, it's like a Florida room, a sunroom. There's windows all around. There's plants. There's TVs. On this side, kitty corner, there was a recliner that he was sitting in. I was sit on the other side. I was on a couch. A little time goes by, and he's like, why don't you give me a massage? A back massage. And I'm like, a little girl laugh like, oh my God. We didn't have cell phones then. I couldn't just call my boyfriend and be like, hey, can you get me right now? And I was too scared to ask to use the phone. So then he's like, can I give you a massage? I'm like, So I don't remember if I massaged his back or he just came over. There's something I'm remembering, either being massaged or me massaging him. I can't remember that. So then he picks me up, takes me in his bedroom. I was petrified. And he started doing things, and the things he was saying were like nice, but it's not, you don't say those things, you don't do these things. And I figured, this is out of my control. I'm just a kid. This is out of my control. So instead of him taking that precious virginity from me and raping me, I gave it up to him. The act itself, I just didn't know he was, I remember, my God, that was so painful. I remember he was laying down and he put me on top of him, and the pain down there. I remember the pain down there, and he was so huge. And he was moving my body on him. And then after that, he carried me in the shower. We showered. After that, I had this beautiful leather coat, and it had like this beaver fur on it. He put my leather coat over my naked body after the shower, and he's like, you're just so beautiful, you're just so beautiful, you're just so beautiful. So he's like, Steve can't know about this. My nephew can't know about this. He goes, I am married. My wife can't find out. You have to be hidden in my bedroom. He was sharing the house with another guy that was supposed to be Steve's uncle. And so I'm laying in his bed, and then all of a sudden the door opens, and this beautiful woman is standing there staring at me. And she was like, so then Steve came to pick me up. I was in so much pain down there, blood in my underwear, everything. The showering didn't help or nothing. So he takes me to this Roach motel. It's off of 94. It's on the corner of Van Dyke, I believe. It's across from City Airport, not Metro Airport. It's across from City Airport. This motel, there were roaches. I was terrified. I'd never been in a hotel with a guy before. With my parents, sure. But he put a porno on, and then he tried to do stuff, and I couldn't. I told him what had happened. I said, you need to take me home. The whole way back home, he's screaming and yelling at me. It was 4:00 in the morning. I actually had him drop me off at the apartment complex where my grandma was living. She lived a couple streets. She had moved over to St. Clair Shores from Radford. She lived a couple of streets over from my parents. My aunt lived 7 streets over. My mom's twin. So then I go home. I walk home. I didn't go to my grandma's apartment. I was not going to be disrespectful and wake her up. So I go home, and it's 4:00 in the morning, and my mom is like, thank God. And I told her what had happened and everything. So a couple of years go by, and a year went by, and my first husband, I knew him from high school. I wasn't popular, but I had met him, Larry, in the 9th grade, and to me, he was just so gorgeous. Blue eyes, sandy, blonde hair. He was on the weight team, and I used to massage his shoulders. Maybe that's where that came from, because that guy wanted to massage me. Maybe just getting programmed with the word massage or something, and thinking that's what people like. I remember being in 9th grade in the lunchroom. He let me hang around with him. He wanted me to massage his shoulders and stuff. And I remember at that time, this girl that I was hanging out with, Darcy, she's like, he'll never go out with you. What, bitch? Married, 3 children, and a marriage later. The one person that you thought wasn't going to be with the hottest guy at school was. So we had lost contact at high school. So this was before Roger. This was still when I was in the public school system. So me and Larry knew each other in school. I knew his brother in school. And then we lost touch because I left school at 15, going to adult ed. Steve, his uncle. I'm going to adult ed. Steve was not going to adult ed anymore. There were no statutory rape charges pressed on the 28-year-old because my mom was like, well, you gave it up to him. I mean, yes, I did. I think I would have handled it differently with my children. I'm not trying to hurt your mom. Sorry, that's just how I feel. Regardless, if I did it out of fear. I've never really opened up about this except to my husband, well, my ex-husband, but he even called me a whore at 3 years old he didn't know me at 3 years old, but he told me I must have did something to spark my grandfather's interest. So it was my fault that I got sexually abused from 3 to 11. That's how demented my ex was. So anyways, I'm at school and everything, and a year goes by. I'm 16. My mom took me to a Sign of the Beef Cover restaurant, and Larry was a cook there, and we were talking, and we were happy to see each other. There were some good things about him. There's some good things about me, and then both of us, we have our own toxicities. And so me and my mom are sitting down, or he tells us, I'll bring all your stuff out to you. So we're sitting at the table, and Larry was like, can I get your number? And I was like, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So I gave him my number, called me up, and it began a love story. I didn't understand love too much. I always confused hurt with love, but as far as like a first love, yeah, him, Larry. So my mom tried to prevent sex in children by buying me my dog Velvet. Buying a kid is not going to prevent them from, she was doing the best that she could, she thought. So anyways, ended up pregnant with our first daughter, Ashley. And I've never felt any of my children were a mistake, no matter if they were planned or not. So she was not planned, but still. So I get to 8 months of pregnancy. Wait. Was it 7 months of pregnancy? Some reason I'm thinking it was 8 months of pregnancy. So I'm pretty big. I'm about to pop. I can't remember the date or anything, but it was in the evening. I can't remember if Larry was home with me or at work. I think he was there. The phone rings. It's Steve. Just so you know, my uncle gave you AIDS. And being a teenager, pregnant, and told that I have AIDS now, I'm gonna die. That's why that's cruel to me. To me, that's like an attempted murder to lie like that. Because he was that pissed off at me being a child, being stuck with his uncle, and I was so scared that I gave it up to him because I knew that guy would have raped me. I mean, this man was like a giant too. He was like 6 foot. He had to have been like 6'3", unless he just seemed super large to my small child's versus to my child's body. Well, no, my woman's body with a child's spirit, a pure spirit. I was pure, and then I gave that purity because I was petrified. That's why a lot of people give it up, because they're petrified that the person's going to rape them. So, yeah, I'm pregnant. And one of my closest friends, it's been a while since I've talked to her, T. And I gotta say this, girl, I love you to death. But not, there's something. So I'll get back to that in a second. So I just dropped the phone. I went down into my parents' laundry room and I just like started freaking out, crying and stuff, and thinking, oh my God, I'm gonna die of AIDS. I gave Larry AIDS. Our baby is gonna have AIDS. That's what I thought. No, a lot of times babies in the womb, they're protected because of mother's walls and the sac. Sometimes they're not though. So I don't know what Larry said to people, but my friend T and C, so they show up to my house, my parents' house, and I bang, 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 go to open the door. What are you doing giving my boy AIDS? What, bitch? Now that I love you, T, but you're lucky I didn't snatch you up. I'm just being honest, girl. I mean, if somebody now would ever come to me like that and I feel threatened, that I will not take responsibility over what my actions may cause me to do to you. You don't know who you're talking to. I remember being so furious and knowing that I'm pregnant, and I almost did snap and do something to her then, but I didn't want to do nothing to the baby, and plus I was still reserved at the time. I wasn't good at defending myself too well, but yeah, that, and then I just wonder how many people have been told that, and I wonder if there's a rumor going on, oh, Sarah Rizzo has AIDS. Bitches, no, I don't. So now that I've explained this, maybe certain people in my life that have been in my life in the past or are in my life kind of currently can understand now the 100% truth, not just that, the 100% God's honest facts. Oh, this feels great to let this go. I have to. I need to really share this out there. I mean, back at that time, too, with like the older guys that I dated, it wasn't as controversial as it is now. Everybody's realizing that it's not okay if someone's in their 20s and they're going after someone as a 15-year-old. But I'll do another video about older men. But yeah, so this is my experience. Have a good day.